It is a privilege to stand here at a place that serves as a living monument to a great American. You know, I remember the day well. All eyes were on the airport as we watched the Pope land. And then the president arrived. I remember him pulling up with Mrs. Reagan by his side, moving along the line and shaking everyone's hand in the procession. And eventually coming upon a familiar face, my father's, Miami Mayor Xavier Suarez. A moment in time where these three men who shaped my life were brought together. And so it is no coincidence that this meeting would happen in Miami, a city that served as a beacon of liberty across the Americas and now serves as a beacon of hope and opportunity for people across America. Today's Miami is a living and breathing example of President Reagan's legacy, a thriving city on a hill built on the promises of keeping taxes low, keeping people safe, and embracing our culture of American innovation. In Miami, we admired President Reagan for his vision of a confident and forward-looking America. He didn't define himself by what he was against, but by what he was for. He built a winning majority around a vision of America's future rooted in our national values and inspired by our shared heritage. President Reagan taught us that character counts. He taught us that values matter, and he taught us that ideas have consequences. And he believed in us at a time when we doubted ourselves. Under this administration, America is again beginning to doubt herself. Crime is rampant and growing. Homelessness is exploding. Our borders are bulging, inflation eats our paychecks, and evil men and regimes are gaining ground. But the battle is not yet lost. America remains the greatest hope for peace and prosperity in the world. Freedom, as we know, is never free. It needs to be renewed and re-won by every generation. Our Declaration of Independence clearly invokes the mission of every American government, securing life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. No one can pursue happiness if they live in a violent neighborhood or on a street that isn't secure. Unfortunately, there are so many in our cities who feel hopeless and forgotten. Homelessness is exploding across America, but we cannot totally solve homelessness until we face our national mental health epidemic. From mass shootings to addiction and homelessness, we need to address mental health and critical care with new and innovative approaches that help people build the skills to avoid crisis. My fellow Americans, as we remember from the book of Ecclesiastes, to everything there is a season, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time for war and a time for peace, a time to be silent and a time to speak. Now, my brothers and sisters, is a time for choosing. Now it is time to get started. I believe America is still a shining city on a hill whose eyes of the world are upon us and whose promise needs to be restored. Thank you and God bless you.